Good evening, fam. What's going on to everybody out there? I want to take this opportunity to welcome you back to this week's episode of Straight Talk, No Chaser with Dr. JJG. I'm excited to be joined tonight by my beautiful wife, partner in this thing called life and everything else that we're trying to do out here. Lady Ron, she'll be joining us in a little while. Tonight, we are going to be getting after something that all of us cannot get enough of, and that is food. In the midst of this global pandemic, all of us are having no shortage of time being spent in the kitchen. I know myself, every time I get an opportunity, I'm doing work in the office and then I'm running upstairs to the kitchen, grabbing me a snack. You know, I'm back down in the office, I'm on a call, I'm waiting for wifey to tell me that dinner is ready. And so we all are eating, but how are we eating in the midst of this global pandemic? Is it a whole lot of junk, a whole lot of nothing? Or are we eating some stuff that's going to make sure that when we come out of this, we come out of this thing the right way? And so the topic of tonight's episode is quarantine cuisine, keeping your diet diverse and healthy in the midst of COVID-19. I know I'm not the only one. It seems like we having the same old stuff over and over again. It's only so many times that you can rotate this thing around. And so we are excited about tonight. Tonight we have with us our guest this evening is very special to us because not only is she the owner and operator and head chef of Siblings Catering and Meal Prep, but she also happens to be our cousin, the super sweet, creative, and stay on her grind, Miss Brittany Campbell. Welcome, Brittany. We might be having a little technical difficulties. Look like we lost our sound. We'll hang in there. I think she's back.
I can't hear. Okay, I can hear now. I'm back.
All right, you good?
Can you hear me?
Welcome. Glad to have you with us. Can you hear us?
I can't. Give me 1 second.
All right. Audience understands.
That's
perfect.
I can hear.
Perfect. Okay. Look, we making it happen another way. Say hi to the audience for us.
Hello. Hi, guys.
So we're glad to have you tonight. We're excited. We got a little cooking demo scheduled for in a little while, so it's going to be good. Let's get into some conversation, some straight talk. We actually have a little bit of chaser tonight with the demo, cooking demo, but let's have this conversation straight up. So what inspired your interest in culinary arts and made you decide that this is how you wanted to turn your talents into a life's work?
Well, I did many things. So as coming up, my first job was more in the medical field. So I love that feeling of helping people and, just being bedside and in that way. And then after that, I went to the state building, and that was more laid. I'm just sitting. I was behind a desk the whole time. But every time when I went home and I would cook, that's where I found where I was happy. That was where I found my peace. So, and I was really good at it. And so I began just to continue doing it. And then one day, someone chef had bailed on them. And my boss chef at the state building had bailed on them. He said, "Britt, can you whip me up something really quick?" And I said, "Sure." And I did it, and everybody he had a 100-man group meeting. And everybody's like, "Well, what's the catering business name?" And I was like, "Well, it's not really a catering business." And so I got joy from it, and it was rewarding for me to be able to help others, and they loved it as well. So it was all of the things that I love doing, from the medical field to the things that I did at the state building, all combined. And so I decided to pursue it full time.
Right. Wow. So, so it seems like, it kind of sort of happened to be you were in the right place at the right time, and things kind of sort of just took root from there.
Yeah, it did. It gave me the push that I needed. I always had this image of it, but I never stepped out on faith and actually did it. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So cooking is something, you know, it's going on in everybody's house to some degree or another. So who was the cook growing up that you just had to have some of whatever they were fixing? Who was that cook for you growing up?
My mom. My mom.
Okay.
She's the cook of the family. Even now, she is like, I'm more, I guess, younger, so I'm more creative in some things. She's still like old school. She's like, I can do that, I can do this, but she's the one. She's a cook. And it's crazy because I did not come up right under her, like watching her and learning from her, because I was very much so spoiled. I would sit back and just wait for it.
Wow.
So.
Wow. So she's so Cousin Donnie got the foundation in it for you,
Yes.
and then you just took the foundation and you added to it with your own flair and spark and creativity, throwing a little bit of this in there and making it do what it does.
Yeah.
Awesome. So nowadays, you know, everybody to some degree, as I said earlier, and I keep saying it, is cooking. We all are cooking on some level or another because we have to eat. But there has been a big wave of folks out there entering into culinary industry over the past few years, doing everything from cooking dinners to opening up full-scale restaurant. There have been tons of people out there. You look on Facebook, you look on Instagram, all over, especially in the DMV. DC metropolitan area, there's somebody popping up, you know, every time you turn your head. What makes Siblings Catering stand out from all the other culinary industry professionals out there? What makes you guys stand out?
So for me, like food is my fashion. Like food, I love fashion, but food is like my fashion. I'm always willing to tweak something. I believe that you have to eat with your eyes first. So I always wanted to look just as good as it tastes. So for one, that is what my answer always is. Number one, consistency is key for me. So I want it to be the same way last week that it was last month, the same way as that it is today. And I feel with other catering business, sometimes it's rare that you call a catering business and you get the person that is the one cooking your food, the one that's going to be delivering your food, everything. So I feel like we're more personable, we're more relatable, and I'm more hands-on with all of my clients.
Definitely.
Just to make sure that their vision gets brought through from beginning to end.
We can attest to that. You know, definitely we are witnesses of that, that personal side to it. Not just because we're family, but we see the professionalism that you put into everything that you do. Not only is the food amazing, but people talk about in the medical field having a bedside manner. I guess that we could call this a kitchen table etiquette or compassion, however you want to put it, but it's always top notch.
Yeah.
Right there, right where it is. I love what you said about food being my fashion, eating with your eye. That's so important. I think about, you know, when you see food, if you look at it and it ain't looking right, you ain't really trying to dive in and eat it. You looking like, is that what that is? You know, my grandmother used to say, she would look and be like, after you go into a restaurant, this place don't look clean. If it don't look a certain way, you ain't trying to eat it and digest it. So it's definitely important. I love what you said about food being your fashion. So if you could sum it up, and maybe you already did when you said that, but what's your personal model that's made you successful in Baltimore? Because you're not just doing small, intimate events, you're also doing some private functions, some big things. So what's been your model that's kind of kept you successful and marketable out here?
I would say, like, basically the consistency. So that like you said, you probably already answered. I would think that from selling dinners to the small events to the big events, we've done weddings and big baby showers at this point, And I have some corporate things, and we have some things with John Hopkins that we've teamed up and did. And it's just the consistency, not the menu or the quality of the food doesn't change from my dinners to anything else.
Definitely important. Definitely important. Definitely important. So where did the name Siblings Catering come from, and who helps make this operation run so smoothly?
So Siblings came to me when I was 15 in a dream. I had just lost a brother, and I had this dream for about maybe a month straight. And it was a burger joint. It was old. It's set up on a hill, and we had like a jukebox in there, and we were known for burgers. And at this time, you know, I'm 15. I hadn't really even began cooking. So this dream just kept coming back into me. And as I stated before, when I did the first event, came up to me and asked me, like, what's the name of the business? What's the name of the catering company? It just rolled like it was natural. Like, that's been the name the whole time. So I just said Siblings. And so it just felt right. And so, like I said, my mother wasn't always there. Like, I wasn't under her, like, learning how to cook from her. I just was one of those little spoiled kids that just waited for the food to be done. And then once my mother went and she would go and work, she would work like 2 and 3 jobs. My brothers were the ones that actually taught me how to cook. So I was like, Siblings Catering. And then, so now, present day, fast forward, my mother is the one that helps make everything go smoothly. If I have a small or big event or even just dinners, she's up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, the one prepping everything so that I can get rest, so that I can get up the next morning and begin to cook. She makes sure all of my scheduling stays on point. She is like Siblings. She is everything.
Wow. So it really is a family affair, and and just hearing,
Absolutely.
you talking about, 15 and having a dream, that speaks to something else on another level, that,
Yeah.
don't despise, what you hear, the voice of God speaking to you early on in life. You never know what you're hearing early on in life that just would be that spark that you need to go ahead and step out on faith and launch that next big dream, that next big idea. And the other thing I'm hearing in this is that family is so integral. You talk a little bit about the loss of your one of your brothers and stuff at the time, but it kind of really helps to tie it all together. They were the ones early on that really began to teach you the tools, the early tricks of the trade, if you will, in the kitchen, and you carry that with you, daily in all that you do with your work. So it's a family affair. Yeah. And there's another generation in the mix. Isn't it? Chase out, your son helps out from time to time as well. I've seen him, with his apron on and things like that. So it really is a multi-generational family affair. And I think that's so important, that whatever we're doing, whatever we're endeavoring to do in today's day and time, that we make sure that the entire family is involved, so that people can begin to see that, number one, we're in this thing together as a family. We got to love, we're going to support one another, and whatever it is that we do, we're also showing the next generation that this is how we advance. This is how, we hustle. This is how we move forward. This is how, we achieve. We do it together as a family, and we learn different things along the way. Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome,
so it's definitely very, very family oriented. Like, my brother, he'll, pitch in when he's not working and make deliveries for me. Or my sister, who's all the way in Atlanta, she does more like web design and all of my stickers. And I'm definitely calling her first to see if this looks right, or, she has an eye for those things. And then as you guys, like my family, like all my cousins that still support, every single time, no matter what it is that I produce, you guys always support me. And then for me, it is important for, no matter what path Chase takes, if he doesn't want to cook, it's important for me, for him to see that, just that family base, that, this is whatever you choose to do, this should definitely be your base, and that, together we can do whatever.
And that's so important. You hit up on something, and I'm gonna throw it out there because we're talking. Even it's a lot of times in the midst of families and the midst of friends, what tends to happen is when you have one person excelling, other folks are like, well, let me get this hookup or let me get this. No, it's important. We sew in, we support because we know it takes money to buy ingredients. It takes money to make sure that you got top of the line supplies. In your kitchen, and all of that. So we want to sew in. We enjoying the eating, and so we want to sew in. And so family out there, if you got somebody, whether they in the culinary arts industry, whatever it is that they're doing, sew into. That's an investment into the family brand. Into the family brand. So summer's on the horizon. We're getting there slowly but surely. Hopefully, soon we'll be able to get outside and do the things that we like to do. I know, family as a whole, we're looking forward to being able to get together as a family and do some of those things that summer brings. We got Memorial Day that just passed. It wasn't a traditional Memorial Day, but folks, nonetheless, when they're intimate gatherings of 10 or less, we put that down, 10 or less, we're able to do something. So with many of us still experiencing the stay-at-home orders, though, now, and restrictions on gathering, it's going to be different. It's going to be definitely different. So the traditional summer cookouts are not going to be as traditional as we're used to having them. And so I think that creates an opportunity for us to not have to have the same old hot dogs, hamburgers, and potato salad. We love all that. Aunt Bessie's potato salad, all of that stuff is great. But, this is an opportunity for us to do something just a little bit different. So talk to our audience. Throw us a couple of bones. You ain't got to give us everything, but throw us a couple of bones. What are some summer menu meal options that folks might be able to whip up to move away from the regular stuff, the mundane stuff? What are some ideas that we can maybe throw out there?
So you're saying like ideas to still have for a cookout or just like a regular dinner?
Yeah. Some summer food ideas that might make it be, a little bit more fun and festive. Some things that you normally doing around this time of year.
So around this time of year, it is always it's a lot more seafood for me. So a lot of people don't want to eat as heavy and don't want too many meat. So I'm a slider girl. I'll put anything like on a slider. So you don't have to have like a heavy burger. You can take your favorite fish and bake it, fry it up, however you would like doing that, and like any type of topping sauce. I'm a sauce person, so I would kind of mix up any kind of sauce and just throw it on my sandwich really quick. So that's definitely one of the ones. And that, for me, that goes for barbecue or in home. Like for the kids, if you're going to make something quick for the kids, I always do like once again, it's spotters. And so I'll do like, instead of doing like actual burger, I'll do like a small turkey burger, ground the meat up, put it on like the Hawaiian roll.
Love the Hawaiian rolls. Yes.
Yeah, so put it on the Hawaiian roll, put your cheese on top, and then put it in the oven for just a second. And then you can kind of like break apart the whole thing. So then the kids have something quick to just pop in, and, it'll last for a little bit. So while you guys are having movie night, or even if you got a picnic during the day, those are perfect. Also, what I love is kebabs. I'll put almost anything on a kebab. Veggies, chicken, steak, like whatever your favorite is. I think that kebabs are like so underrated. But for me and my business during this time, we do a lot of kebabs. So
okay.
Like I'll even make breakfast kebabs like French toast, and instead of like cutting it up, you can put your French toast and your sausage on the stick, and then the kids got it to go.
Oh wow! I would never even have thought about that. I mean, the breakfast on the stick. some
Yep.
French toast, some
So get
sausage
something
or
in the
something.
summertime. Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm hoping we getting close to demo time because I'm already getting a little bit hungry
You're
just
hungry.
listening. And when you do the Hawaiian rolls out there, those don't last in our house at all. I mean, they don't last in our house at all. We come downstairs, and normally I like to put something on the Hawaiian roll. Our oldest son, Noah,
Yeah.
I mean, he is going in there just grabbing Hawaiian rolls and, munching on them. I'm like, boy, put some meat on the bread. No, I don't need no meat. This is good. So, to think about making a slider out of it, that's that. Look, I'm going to throw in a quick plug, for the business. I know we got to wait for them to come around, but the salmon burger, you talked about putting meat, seafood and stuff. The salmon burger you do, oh my gosh, it is to die for. That is one of our favorites in this house. One of our favorites. I'm gonna plug it early on. Go ahead on over there. We're gonna see you on IG a little bit later on. Well, go ahead on over there on IG now and follow Siblings Catering. You follow her, and you'll be able to get the updates on what meals are coming up for the week and what opportunities. So go ahead, log on now. Don't miss out on that at all. So I mean, that's definitely some great ideas.
So one of our summer favorites that is Chase's favorite is our pineapple bowl, which we will have next week. So you basically gut the pineapple out, and we'll have like a rice base, and it'll be peppers and onions, and you can either have chicken, shrimp, salmon, or anything on top. And it tastes very kind of like Caribbean flavor, but it's a way to incorporate your fruit. It's not so heavy. My whole thing in the summertime is I wanna eat good food, but not feel so heavy, because you want to still go out and enjoy your day, and most times it's hot, and we're not going to really get a chance, with everything going on during the pandemic, to have an actual traditional summer and have the cookouts like you said. So that is another thing. Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to probably take another question, and then we're going to shift gears. We're going to get ourselves ready for the demo. I think Lady Ron is probably just about ready, and so we'll be excited about bringing her in. She is the head chef of our house and stuff. I'm only at sous chef level. But she's definitely the head chef, and so she'll be joining us for our cooking demo part of our time together. So I'll throw this one out there to you. So clearly, and this may lead in a little bit to what we'll be having tonight, and you can kind of set the mood for that as well. We're in a day and time where folks are reminded that we eat to live and don't live to eat. And we got to make sure that we remember that. We eat to live, but we don't live to eat. Many folks in America today are either obese or morbidly obese. They fall into one of the other of those categories. And that leads to a lot of health concerns, specifically in the African-American community. We love some good food. We tend to make sure our food is not only well seasoned, but we also make sure we throw a little something extra in there for just the right taste. That's it, just the right taste. But sometimes it makes us be a part of the population that is at risk for things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and nobody has time for any of that. We all are going on for bigger and better, but that's a reality that we're having to deal with, especially in the African-American community. Are there certain things that you take into consideration when you are preparing or deciding what you're going to cook or the ingredients that you're going to use for meals?
Yes. So in addition to catering, we know I also meal prep. So that's very, very important in that. And I try to also imply it with my catering meals as well. So for me, I like to use less salt as possible. If I can have a meal with no salt, I prefer that way. Like I said before, I'm a sauce person, so if I need something and I feel like I need something a little bit extra, I'll prefer a sauce over like more seasoning, which some of your average everyday seasonings that you use already have salt in it. So you don't really have to have that extra salt or, nothing like that.
Growing up in my house, We had none of that on the table. I said, growing up in our house, salt wasn't even allowed on the table. My grandmother said it was well seasoned. There was no table salt involved.
Yeah, now everybody want extra. And then, you know, we cook with other things like oil, butter. All of these things already have salt in them. It's really no need for extra salt. Well, you know, we live in a time where you can't go out the house, so most people are munching, some are snacking, you know. So for me, it's just important for us to watch our carb intake and, you know, just eat healthier on a healthier scale anyway, which is why I chose to do the spinach linguine noodles, because a lot of people don't know that you can get almost any kind of noodle that you want to step away from the carbs.
Right, so, right. Carbs is a killer.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so good. That's so good.
I'm a bread fanatic. I mean, we're not even going to talk about the sweets. That's a whole nother conversation. We might talk about some of the sweets on IG, but I'm a bread fanatic, and so it's so hard to let go of the bread. I know everything in moderation. That's why you talk about the Hawaiian rolls. I sold Noah out, but the reality is I'm right behind them. You know, when they come in the house around Thanksgiving time, my wife always says, Sharon always tells me, she says, look, these are for Thanksgiving. These little ones over here are for you to do whatever you're going to do with. Once you finish these, don't mess with the Thanksgiving. Don't mess with the Thanksgiving. Look, I was so excited this past year, Thanksgiving. We had just a little something here, and then we came up and did Thanksgiving with you. I was so excited to see that you had bread on the table.
Yeah. So Hawaiian rolls are my favorite. I'm just like you, and I get that from, you know, my grandmother. She's a bread and butter person, and I am just like that. I have to have bread and butter. It just has to happen. So I get it. I've been trying. It's been a struggle myself. I tell all of my clients the same thing. Like, listen, I can get you, you know, all the meals you want on meal prep or wherever you want it. You know, if you don't want carbs, you don't have to have carbs. And then you know what I've been trying so much lately though, like the cauliflower rice. And like just doing different things with it, trying it's like deep fried cauliflower. You can put whatever sauce on it you want. So that has been very popular as well. Just to step away from the carbs. But I'm like you, I need bread. Yeah.
Awesome. Look, it don't hurt that much, but everything again in moderation. I see Lady Ron is upstairs in the kitchen. Why don't you set us up and tell the audience what we're cooking tonight? I'm going to leave this portion of the set, make my way upstairs and get ready. So you go ahead and set us up, and I'll see you upstairs in the kitchen. Tell the audience what we have tonight.
All right, so tonight we're going to have homemade chicken Alfredo. We will be making our sauce from scratch. We will be using spinach and child noodles. We'll be adding a little pesto to it just because I like pesto sauce. And that is about it. So I don't know if Ron already has it, but we already had our chicken pre-cut, but everything else you guys will be able to see right here. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Britt.
Hey, Wolf. How you?
Hello, everybody that's joining us on Straight Talk, No Chaser.
Oh, look at her. I love it.
You know our family is very creative.
So, Ron, I already ready to go because the noodles literally take about 2 minutes to boil. So if you wanted to put your water on,
I said, oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah, it's very, very quick. We're actually going to do the noodles last.
Okay. So I'm going to put a pot of water on.
Okay.
So, Britt, while you're prepping, question: what's your favorite dish to eat?
Wow, that's very interesting. My favorite dish, I would have to say, is like I'm an Italian girl, so my favorite dish is pizza. All this cooking and it's pizza. But the chicken Alfredo that we're making tonight and chicken Parmesan is my favorite of mine that I make. So I'm like I said, I'm an Italian girl. So when you guys reached out, I was like, perfect. I love chicken Alfredo. We love pate.
Yeah.
So between that and the bread, I had to find another way because it would get crazy.
Jason loves bread. I heard him talking about it downstairs.
Yep.
He was so excited when you cooked Thanksgiving dinner that you had bread.
Listen, if I didn't have bread there, Grandma would have went. Like, this is not Thanksgiving. She has to have bread and butter. She's like, you should get the little butter spreads. And I'm like, okay. The bread wasn't enough. But it's so weird because Chase's favorite thing is the Hawaiian roll sliders with sloppy Joe. So the same way I was telling you before, we just put sloppy Joe in there, put cheese on it, and he kind of like just break the bread apart, like the small sliders, the Hawaiian rolls, and he just break them apart. And I sit them on the counter, I look, and then they're gone. So.
See, guys, those with kids, that's an easy meal right there. Hawaiian rolls, sloppy Joe, some cheese on it, put it in the oven if you like, set it out for the kids, and let them break apart. That's another easy, quick summer meal while the kids are at home.
Yeah. And always sneak vegetables in there because it's so hard sometimes to get him to eat certain things. So what I'll do is buy a whole thing of spinach, and I'll just cut it up and put it inside of the sloppy Joe mix, and that's it. He doesn't taste the difference. He's never even there.
Okay, that's good stuff.
So what's the most requested meal at Siblings Catering? What are people always asking for at Siblings?
The salmon burger.
Oh my gosh, can you bring it back?
It is a salmon burger. Now, I don't care what kind of variation I put this burger in. If I put it in a wrap, if I put it on a bun, that is the most requested. They're like, can you please bring it back? And I am going to bring it back. I said that I wanted to do this week and then next week of just straight back to back because it's crazy. So I will do it just for y'all.
All right, guys. Whenever she does bring it back, follow my Instagram page, Excited About Life. And I will post it. I will tag you in it. You can also follow Brittany's page on Instagram, which is Siblings Catering. So be sure to be on the lookout for those because when I tell you, they're good.
Thank you.
So I looked over. I think we got just a little bit, maybe another minute or so on this water before it boils. But as a chef, I'm just curious, do you eat out from home at all? I know when you used to cooking, and I know my grandmother used to always say, I don't like eating out from home. I know how I cook. I know the cleanliness.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. So do you eat out from home at all? And if so, what's your go-to spot?
So I prefer to make it myself now. It wasn't always that way. Sometimes if I have like a lot of orders and I'm overwhelmed from cooking, then I'll go out. And my go-to spot is It's downtown. It's called the Lock Bar, and I only get the Brussels sprouts and like a piece of chicken. Like I'm such a picky eater. People would not believe it. Like they're like, oh my goodness, you cook, that's all you eat. I just listen. I know we're running the family.
I like what I like.
I like what I like. Listen,
there may be some hope.
and then I don't eat so many things now. Like I don't eat red meat. I don't like pork. It's so much. I'm just like, give me a piece of chicken and Brussels sprouts. That's it.
And I guess the other thing I'm hearing, you talk about Brussels sprouts. Like oh my gosh, I remember as a kid, my father would do some cooking, and as a kid, I remember he had made Brussels sprouts, and I'm like, ugh. And it's like, boy, you gonna sit there until them Brussels sprouts are gone. I think one night I sat there, my mother had compassion on me, and after I think my father started to get sleepy, she came out. I'm still sitting my head in the plate. She came and kind of sort of just got rid of the Brussels sprouts or whatever, and I was able to go off the bed. As a chef, though, it seems like your palate becomes a little bit more exciting and interesting, even if you don't eat that much stuff yourself. So I was saying there may be some hope for our youngest son, Sincere, who is a picky eater as well, but he had a passion early on for cooking. But we're like, boy, how you gonna cook anything if you don't want to try nothing? But it's maybe hope.
Oh, there is hope, because my secret is that I don't try most of it. I do not.
Really?
So I do not. So, if it's something that I'm unsure of, then yes, I would taste it. Like Brussels sprouts, hated them as a child. Once I got older, absolutely, then people request them, so I tried them. But for me, I'm so in tune with cooking. My food has to have a certain smell. I know when it's perfect if it smells a certain way. So everything that I cook, I do not taste. I would be so big, like just, well, I was talking earlier, like just, oh my goodness. But I literally do not taste everything. I don't. So he's right on the money. If his passion is there, it's going to work out.
All right, I think we got the water boiling.
All right, so we can start while the water is boiling, because we're actually going to do our chicken first, and then our sauce, and then we'll do the noodles last.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready when you are. You ready?
Yep, I think I got everything out.
Okay. All right, so I'm putting the chicken, need to back it up, so I'm putting that. So the chicken is already cut up. Can you guys see this? Okay. All right. Can you see it, Ron?
Yep, I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. All right. So I'm putting the chicken, I just transfer it over into like a glass bowl. I just like to season it more when it's spread all the way out, so I can get the seasoning all the way through and through. So I have my favorite chicken seasoning, which is rotisserie chicken seasoning.
Okay, so we can put in any chicken seasoning.
Any chicken seasoning.
Okay, so I'm gonna use, I like Weber's brand. Sorry, I'm gonna use the chicken in mine.
Yes, I love chicken. But chicken gives it a little kick, and Kay takes that. Kay doesn't like anything like spicy.
Ah.
So after I do the rotisserie seasoning, I'll do a little smoked paprika.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be smoked paprika. You can use any type of paprika.
Yep, I think I just have some regular.
And then onion powder or granulated onion. Italian.
Okay.
And then garlic. This is the garlic powder, not the fresh minced garlic.
Okay, so I have some garlic powder here.
Okay. So do you have this one from Weber? It's roasted garlic and herb?
Nope, I have garlic parmesan. I have garlic jalapeno.
Okay. Well,
I like the
we'll
spicy.
use that one. We'll use the garlic parmesan.
Okay. All right. So this is what this is, guys.
When I make like I said, Italian is my favorite. So I'll throw anything in there Italian. Anything garlicky. I love my pasta very, very garlicky, very cheesy. So anything like garlic, basil, oregano, that I'll just throw it on in. So after we have all of that, we just gonna make sure that our chicken is seasoned all the way through and through. So what kind of oil do you guys use?
I believe it's vegetable, yes.
Okay. Perfect. You just want to put a little bit of vegetable oil inside of a small saucepan so you can get your chicken going. Yeah, perfect.
I can start to smell the seasonings already.
Yes. See what I'm saying? By the smell.
Oh, in here, in the chicken. You want the oil poured in the chicken?
Poured in the pan.
Okay. All right.
I'm just waiting for my pan to get a little bit more hotter.
Okay. And so normally, so this is a quick meal, Britt. About how long should this meal take for those that may be inquiring?
So this meal should take you about 20 minutes to make. And that is with like preparation and everything.
Okay, that's not long. That's good timing.
No. So it's like, like I said, the noodles being like so quick to boil is the best thing. The longest thing that it takes, of course, is the chicken. The sauce is going to take about 5 minutes, and then just seasoning and cutting up and cooking the chicken is what is the bulk of the time.
Okay.
All right, so I'm putting my chicken into our pan.
All right. What is the best kind of pan to use? I like using like a skillet for these kind of like chickens, or if I'm trying to almost get like a little.
So I like a skillet. I love skillet, like skillet and a wok. I can cook almost anything in a wok.
And it's funny, I brought a wok about a year ago and I still haven't used it. So now I'm going to have to use it.
Oh, use it. Use your wok. Everybody, use your wok.
So family, we see that Chef Brittany's already jumped on over on IG Live. I'm gonna jump on and join her. We can invite some of the IG folks into the next part of the demo.
Yeah.
We're getting going. So Britt, I think I sent you a request to join you on live.
I just accepted it. Did it come through?
Not yet.
Ron, ask him if it came through.
He's said not yet.
I don't know why.
I'm new at this.
Tell them request it again. You got me, Ron?
Yeah, she's going to request it again. What is a proper temperature for your chicken to be on? To not overcook your chicken, but to still have the juiciness and the flavors from the seasonings.
No. 1 second. Hold up. It's not Nana Rosie, is it?
No, that's me. Let me see. Cool Waters.
Cool Waters.
Yeah. No, I didn't get a request.
We'll try again when we're done.
Hi.
Hi,
My
Jay.
stuff is here. So for me,
It's smelling good.
I had. Is it there? No. So for me, I had an electric stove, and I like to cook my food like on 6. And so when you think, like, chicken doesn't take a long time to cook. So if you cook until you think it's all like completely done, the average person is drying the food out. Okay. So once your chicken has reached like 135, between 135 and 165 is done. Depending on the size of the piece that you're making. We want our chicken to be just a little golden brown because once we put it in the sauce, it's going to remain to cook.
Okay.
Or continue to cook. So I like to use avocado oil.
Okay.
Avocado oil or vegetable oil is like my go-to. So we should be both almost there. How's the chicken looking over there?
It's looking like I'm about to eat a piece. It looks good.
Not mine. Looking good.
Looking real good.
Y'all got some bread over there?
Bread?
Yeah, we could have made some garlic bread for my cousin over there.
I think we got some.
All right, so our chicken probably needs about 3 to 4 more minutes. How's the smell, Ron?
Good. Got a nice brown.
Yeah. Looks perfect. Ooh. So you guys, food are gonna be like done way before mine because cooking on an electric stove is very, very challenging.
Yeah, I noticed with the gas stoves, it's very quicker. It heats up quicker and it gets the food going quicker.
Yes, it just takes so long. And a lot of chefs that I speak to, or they're like, "You have an electric stove?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that means like getting up earlier because I know it's going to take me longer to cook. But
so what's the average day like when you have one of those big events? Like what time does your day start and how long does it normally go? I mean, you're talking not only the preparation of the food, not only the cooking of the food, but I know you talk about presentation, all of that.
listen, that day is very, very long. So I like to begin cooking no matter what time my event is. If my event is if I have a morning event, then of course it's earlier than that. But just talking, I might get up out of my bed about 4 a.m. Long as I prep really, really good, and my mom's usually here and does all of that. Long as all of my prepping is done, and I mean I have to prep down to the T in order for everything to go smoothly. If I need peppers, they have to be cut up. If I have potatoes, they have to be cut up. I mean, everything peeled, everything prepped in order for it to go smoothly. So I wake up about 4 a.m. And because I'm working from home and I'm still home-based, I only have 2 racks in my oven. So if I have mac and cheese and baked chicken and it's a big party, talking, I have to get 2 pans of mac and cheese in there. That's the oven full. And then I need to take that out and have 2 pans of chicken go in, so that, and then once all the food is finally done, then I have to pack everything up. That's getting my chafing dishes, my sternos, the rack down, and then however long it takes me to get to that venue, and then I give myself about 30 minutes to set up, and then finally over. Then usually I got to go back to go and get my equipment. So that's a very, very long day. But as far as cooking time, it just depends on what time the event is. Usually, I would say I'm cooking anywhere between 4 and 6 hours.
Sounds like it's a lot, but it does definitely, and I can say vouch for it, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it.
Absolutely. Listen, it is a very, very, very rewarding job. Like, I enjoy it. So, it is a lot, but I enjoy it. So, I'm done my chicken now, Ron, and the pan that I'm using happens to be my favorite. So, I'm just washing it out because I'm going to do my sauce in the same one.
Yep, that's me too. I'm gonna transfer the chicken over, and I'm gonna do the same thing.
Okay. You know how it is when you get your favorite pan and you take care of it.
I don't know about the audience, but I'm ready to go. I definitely am ready to go. Make sure that y'all try this out. Get your chicken later on in the week. Maybe you got some time this weekend to throw it together. Make sure you get your ingredients. Let me run them back to you. Some chicken breast, some chicken tenderloins is on there. We talked about make sure you got your right seasons, the garlic powder, the onion powder, a little bit of a nice chicken seasoning. You want to make sure that so that it gets right in. You want to make sure that it's nice and juicy and tasty that you can get all of it in there. Parmesan. What else? Heavy whipping cream. I know we're going to get to that soon.
Heavy whipping cream, Parmesan cheese. Yeah. Your garlic butter. Whatever you need to get it done. Yes. It's a very, very, very healthy and tasty meal. It's a quick meal today. I love a quick meal. I don't want to wait all day. All right, Ron, I'm ready when you are.
All right, dry this off.
Hey, Shane.
All right. So we have our chicken.
Ready? All right.
All right. So
This is how our chicken looking, guys.
all right. So I know you said something about garlic butter.
Yeah.
So I know I normally like to use the garlic paste. I normally get it from like Walmart.
I have not tried that, but Deidre raves about it.
I swear by
I
this.
have not tried it.
And you know what else, Juan? I swear
it.
by. So my kids like Chipotle, and that's another quick meal. Like you can do the chicken breast. They have the cilantro with the and the same one like this. And I just normally pour a little bit of lime and white rice with it. I think I might have it, so I can show you that one as well.
I've seen that one, and I always say I'm gonna pick them up. I gotta try it. Chase is just starting to like tacos, so I have to try it.
With white rice with this and a little squeeze of lime, it's really good. But this is my favorite.
I'm taking notes. Thank you. See, my favorite garlic butter is from Sam's Club, and so you seen this one?
Oh, and I've never tried that. I have to pick that up.
You have to pick it up. It's from Sam's Club, guys, and it is just regular garlic butter, but it has Parmesan cheese and basil in it.
Oh, wow!
And I usually just put it in my sauce, but I just had it here just in case, because sometimes if I use enough fresh minced garlic and my own Parmesan, then I use regular, but I create my own. So I don't always have it, because Sam's Club, especially with everything going on with the pandemic, and they haven't been really stocked on it. So usually it's my go-to for everything, but now I've been trying to create my own.
Okay, so with you creating your own, do you normally just use some garlic powder, regular butter, and then mix it up?
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
And I'll put like a little grated Parmesan in it and some basil.
Okay, guys, you heard it here first. If you want to make your own garlic butter, just get a stick of butter, use some garlic powder, basil, and there you go.
Yep. All right, so you ready for your sauce?
Yep.
All right, so I have not. Let me see the pan you use, because I don't want to overdo it.
I do have a wok if I need to go get it.
No, I use a sauce. I use a regular skillet, which I use for my saucepan as well. But I don't. Oh, perfect.
Okay.
So you just pour your heavy whipping cream to it so it covers the whole bottom.
Okay.
And your fire should be very, very low. So once you cover the whole bottom and then pour like a extra little bit in there. So I haven't actually got like all of my measurements out, because I usually just, with the sauce, I usually just go by, I just keep tasting it along the way, because it's really up to your liking. So like I said, I like mine to be very garlicky, very cheesy, and you might not, so you don't want too much heavy whipping cream. You just want to make sure it coats the bottom, and you want to bring it up just a little bit.
Okay.
And so then you're going to put your Parmesan cheese in. So I'll use fresh Parmesan cheese and some grated Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
The fresh Parmesan cheese, I just got like 3 handfuls. Just going to use a little bit of the grated. Just going to stir. And then I like to season the sauce as well. So do you have like the Italian seasoning that we put on the chicken?
Yes.
Put that inside of your sauce. You want to put the garlic powder inside of it. Onion powder. And you do want to use butter.
Okay.
You can just use regular butter. And you can use the butter paste as well, Ron.
Okay.
I hope y'all
So
out
what is
there.
your I'm sorry, go ahead, Jason.
I was just telling the audience, I hope they already had their dinner set and that they just watching along, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for some of this. If not, somebody gonna be making a mad dash to Walmart before they close at 9, whatever time they closing with these new hours. But it's looking good.
I have my temperature set on 4.
Okay. So if your consistency of the sauce is too loose, you want to add more cheese. So that's what I just did. L sauce looks exactly the same. I just added more cheese to mine because I like it just a little bit thicker. Now, I'm a sauce person, so I love like a lot of sauce, so I don't want it so clumpy and thick, because once the cheese sets and begin to melt, it'll thicken it up. But for you guys watching, if you want to have your sauce thicker, you just create a roux, which is just butter and a little bit of flour, and you just melt your butter, add a little bit of flour to it, and I mean just a pinch, and it'll thicken your sauce up, and you can get it and kind of play with the consistency of the sauce.
Okay, I can feel it starting to thicken up.
Yeah. So you just have to give it a minute, and the cheese will definitely thicken your sauce up. But then while that's doing that and still simmering, I wanted to put some pesto in it. So pesto is basically just oils and basil. So like I said, I'm an Italian person, so I love pesto. And again, you literally cannot mess this sauce up. If you put too much garlic, then you can dumb it down with the pesto. If you put too much pesto, you can put more cheese in there or put more garlic in it. It's all to your liking.
I used to have a friend and she swore by pesto. She swore by pesto. Whenever we go out somewhere, the group of us will be out together. She'd say, "I want the pesto sauce," and I'm like, "Pesto sauce?"
Yes, I even like pesto. Like, see, about how you were saying earlier in the show about like your palate changing. Absolutely, because never pizza's my favorite meal, and so I never in a million years thought I would want pesto sauce on my pizza. Now it's like I have to have pesto on my pizza.
Wow. Okay.
It's amazing.
Okay. So it's one of those things that definitely can kind of be used across the board. I think that's one thing, that when you are a chef, as you are, you are much more willing to try different things, even with your cooking, and kind of sort of see what happens.
Yes. Yeah. It's definitely one of those things. Pesto is definitely one of those things where you're like, I know what it tastes like. I know what I like. Let me see if it tastes good on this. You just try and see what happens. It's definitely one of those things. So, Ron, I'm just putting more grated Parmesan in mine. And then we're going to put some mixed garlic in it. So now it should be ready. Once it's done doing that, just let me know and it should be ready to add our chicken in. Some people do not like, adding their chicken into their sauce, and that's okay. Some people just like to pour it over top. They want their chicken to say chicken, say noodles, and they just want the sauce on top. I'm a sauce person. I want to put my chicken inside of my sauce.
Right.
I want it all over. This is how the sauce look, guys. I'm like online on both phones.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, see, it looks really good.
So you said we're gonna put the chicken in?
Yes, we're gonna add the chicken inside.
I think I want to leave a little piece out so I can put it in a salad.
Sounds good to me. And this meal can be done with whatever meat you choose. I prefer mine with shrimp most times, but Chase is allergic to shrimp, so sometimes I just make my shrimp on the side like you, Ron, and just eat it how I want.
One of our audience members has a question. They want to know, can this be made with tomato sauce?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It will be very, very tasty with tomato sauce.
So those traditional pizza folks, they definitely, would be right up their alley, having it with tomato sauce. Marinara, as some say, the original Italian.
And listen, with the marinara, you can still add the pesto in with it, and it still will be very, very tasty.
Really?
Okay.
Yes.
See, like right there, everybody, that's when we talk about, diversifying your diet. Like there's more than one way to do this. And so we're talking about already the Alfredo piece, then one of our audience members threw out the marinara tomato sauce. But, even with that, Chef Brittany is still saying you can still use the pesto. You can still do some of the same stuff to give it a different flavor.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, guys. So I just threw some. What happened?
It's technology.
Look, I'm like, what's going on? Here we go.
There you go.
It said I was in drive safe mode.
It smells so good, everybody.
It really does. It really does.
So Brittany, so I'm not sure for some folks, traditional, when they have Italian meals, there's always the opportunity to pair it perhaps with a wine. I'm not sure if you're into that or not, but what's your suggestion, I know maybe on the spot, about what this Alfredo might pair well with respect to a wine?
For me, I think most Italian and pastas are paired well with like a red wine.
Okay.
So, and sometimes, let me see this. I don't know if yes, I do. Sometimes if I'm cooking, like my chickens, and I'll prepare it in white cooking wine.
Okay.
Okay.
If you guys can see it. So it's pretty good. But most of the time, if I have something Italian, I'd rather something like tart to go with my pasta.
Okay. So you red wine folks, that might be a Merlot.
Yeah. I like a Pinot Noir.
Yeah. So there's
some
options.
That's my favorite, actually.
There's some options. You want to have a glass of settle down with your meal or mellow out. There you go.
Yeah, I like those, and then the ones that I cook with or bake with would be more like a whiskey or something like has like a honey base to it.
We're gonna talk about that bacon when we jump on IG. We'll figure it out once we close this out, and we want to ask some questions about that dessert. That's my party right there.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and throw our noodles in the pot. And these are the noodles that we use. I purchased them from Trader Joe's, and they're pretty cheap. They're like $3 or something like that, right?
Yep.
They're literally like my favorite. They have fresh spinach, but it's very soft in consistency, and I prefer these with the chives in it because it just gives it more flavor to me.
And they're like
so right now, I'm sorry, Jason, go ahead. Huh?
I'm looking at them, spinach and chive.
Very
different
tasty.
taste right there. It's not spinach, but it's got a little hint of it.
Yep.
So, Britt, do you put any oil in with your noodles?
No.
Okay.
I do not. Once the noodles are done, I put like either the garlic butter in it, or like I said, I'll put like a little garlic flavor and some regular butter in it. Sometimes if you put too much oil in it, because it is still spinach, it'll give it like a pasty feeling on like a filmy feeling on top of it. So I probably would love oil in mine, but usually when I'm cooking for Chase, he's like so picky and particular. He's like, "What's this on the noodles?"
Oh yes, we know all about that. Hey, you work around with kids, so you modify, do that part before you adult it up. You do their part, set it to the side, and then you still good to go.
And then you go ahead and do what you gotta do with yours, right?
That's it.
So, are you guys noodles getting soft already?
They look to be. I'm gonna let the head chef over here check them. She know a little bit better than I know.
Yes.
So they should be like, they're not done yet, but they should be like bendable. Definitely where you can maneuver them and swish them around the pot so that, they can all boil down evenly.
They actually smell really good.
It does. I love these noodles. They smell amazing. So the noodles probably need about 2 more minutes.
I'm excited.
I am too. I want to eat a piece of this chicken right now, but I'm gonna wait. I don't want to make nobody on IG or Facebook or Zoom jealous, because the the ingredients will be posted for you.
And I would definitely recommend trying it. It's definitely a very quick, tasty meal.
So Brittany, is this a personal recipe? You know, we're out here, we're on Zoom, you know, we're on Facebook Live. We'll make sure that we're not being copyright infringing. Is this your personal recipe for this?
This is my personal recipe, just because I've added the pesto in it. But
Okay.
it's a traditional Alfredo sauce that you can just Google. Some people have their own tweets that they put on it. But basically the basic heavy whipping cream, Parmesan cheese, and butter is your basic, just make your own Alfredo sauce.
Got
but
it.
This one with adding the pesto is how I like mine.
Okay. And so another reason I'm asking is this, you know, one of the things that we do, most folks that know, you know, aside from that, you know, I serve as a pastor. One of the big things that we're doing in this season, trying to continue to be marketable, trying to do church and keep people engaged is we're just coming at the tail end of our women's season. And one of the things that the women decided to do is to put together a cookbook. And so we're pulling together recipes from all over. And so Lady Rama's like, you know, do you think this is something we can include in the cookbook?
Yes, absolutely. They sure can.
All right. That's awesome.
So I'm going to be getting a little bit more information from you, Britt, and then I'm going to, you can put like a memo at the end of it with your name or a little special saying so that your name will actually be in the cookbook along with other recipes.
I would love it. Thank you so much, and I will give you all the other details.
So y'all stay on the list, look out for that cookbook, Union Memorial's cookbook, Divinely Delicious. It's gonna be coming out before the year is over. So just in case you can't get a hold of Chef Brittany at Siblings Catering, in case she's booked up for the weekend, in case she's taking a week off, chilling out, you can go to your cookbook and be able to pull up one of her recipes and stuff, or some of the other ones that'll be listed in there.
I'm excited. I cannot wait to see this Divinely Delicious. I'm excited about it. Y'all can catch me on live doing a few other recipes out of the book.
That's all right. That's all right. That's the way you share and grow and stuff. It's still your brand. It's still Siblings Catering and stuff. So I know a lot of people, you know, they say this grandmama's recipe. We understand all that, but you know, sometimes we want to share that good eating with everybody.
Absolutely, I love it because there's so many other chefs or some people that aren't chefs that I'm so inspired by. You know, it's so many different recipes that I'll try like anytime from anyone. You know, some people they don't even consider themselves great cooks or chefs at all. They do their own little thing, and you're looking like that's actually good. Like you didn't think about marketing this.
So
but they do their own thing.
So I know we're getting close to nearing the end of this time. I did want to throw one more question out there to you. Just a segue. I see Ron is getting ready to dump the water off the noodles and stuff.
Yeah, they're done.
So the average American spends the majority of their day on the go. And a lot of times they end up not being able to do anything other than get some fast food or grab it and then, you know, keep it moving. One of the coolest things about Siblings Catering is your meal prep component to it. So can you tell us a little bit about what that is, how that works, and then of course share with us how folks can get in touch with you if they want to see about enlisting your services to do that.
Absolutely. So my meal prep component to Siblings is something that I wanted to add on. It was very important to add it on because some people look at the other food that I make in this, you know, they're like, oh, you know, it's a little too heavy. Maybe it's someone that wants to try the food, but they're staying away from carbs or they're not eating certain meats and stuff. And sometimes my stuff is very, it's like, this is my dinner, this is what I'm having. It's very limited. The menu usually when I'm selling dinners is very limited. And so the meal prep was incorporated and then my meal preps are fully customizable. So it was created to allow the person that's trying to watch what they eat, or they might want certain things throughout the week, just so they can have a fully customizable meal. So those meals usually come with 2 sides. You can choose if you want to have a carb or a vegetable. Most people get 2 vegetables because most of them are staying away from carbs. As I said before, I do not like to cook with any salt. So we'll have that, and then 1 protein. If you're pescatarian, we can do that. I do vegan options. I have vegetarian options. You can get as heavy as lamb, steak, pork chops, anything, because everybody that's trying to cut back doesn't necessarily want to eat more lean. They might want a piece of lamb chop, but you still want it to be prepared well and have just those vegetables as an option. And so those meals are, like I said, fully customizable, and you can create whatever schedule you want. Most of my clients start on Sunday, and they get their meals for the week. So you can either do a lunch and dinner or just prepare a lunch. Some people prepare their own dinner and breakfast, and then they get 1 meal per day for 7 days. Or some of them do, it just depends on you and your schedule. But on my Instagram, on Siblings Catering, you guys, my contact information is there. You guys can just inquire about the meal prep, and each customer, each person, as far as their diet needs, is different. So if you guys just reach out, we can definitely have a conversation about meal prepping.
Awesome.
So you guys will be able to find Brittany's Instagram name in the chat. We'll also post it on our Facebook page. If you guys are on Instagram already live, you can also follow Brittany at Siblings Catering for your meal prep needs, or just to check her out when she's also doing dinners as well.
So I think we just about
We're done. Yeah. I'm draining off my water now. Probably I'm going a little too long, but it'll be fine. Have you tried one of your noodles yet, Ron?
No.
No?
They look good and they smell good and they felt done.
Listen. So your noodles have the same consistency as, sorry, darling, she didn't want to be in the camera. It's just any other noodle. So it's just, Ron, I just added you to the live.
Okay.
I don't know why mine's not allowing me to add.
We may be able to do it from our end once we close out the show.
Huh?
We may be able to do it from our end once we close out the show.
Okay.
All right, so you put your garlic butter in.
Yeah.
Oh, that smells so good.
I can't wait for you guys to taste it.
Oh, as soon.
Yeah. Yep. Well.
All right.
So you just I just put mine on a plate. Put my chicken Alfredo on top. Sean, shut up. Sean's on my live talking about I got the rodent in the back, talking about my mother.
Be nice.
Yeah. Look. Look, she don't want to be on camera. I just was talking about you.
My cousin Donnie.
You heard Ron? Come on. Listen, she does not like Instagram, social media, nothing about it. She's like, I don't get it. I told her I'm going to make her a page.
We're going to throw some garlic bread on in a little bit.
Oh, man. Listen. That's all you need.
Are we putting this on the top of it?
Yep. I'm done. Oh, it looks so good. Well, how do I turn my camera around? Look.
Oh, we ready. We're ready. We are ready.
Yeah, we're so ready.
Wow.
So usually, you know, I put my fashion twist on there and I just add like some parsley on there. Or, you know, Chase doesn't really care if it's cute. I do. Even before I eat it. So it's chicken Alfredo, guys. Spinach noodles. Very, very yummy, quick meal.
Awesome. 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 Well, we can't wait to dig in. It's steaming hot.
It is amazing. A yummy, amazing meal.
Y'all. I gotta get on this. I gotta get on this.
And it's very quick. The noodles, what do you guys think about the noodles? Like the consistency?
So first of all, because I was like, if my cousin has suggested it, I'm going to buy 2 packs. Now I'm about to have to go back and buy another pack.
Yes.
This is really good.
Listen, it's really, really, really good. You can do it with, like I said, like the red sauce. You can do these noodles with almost anything. You know, just when you want to just something that's supposed to be heavy, but you still want to put a little light after. It is amazing. It is amazing.
Wow. Well, Chef Brittany, we want to take this opportunity to say thank you for joining us on tonight's episode of Straight Talk No Chaser with Dr. JJG and Lady Ron. Lady Ron's getting ready to go in. I'm going to go with
you.
Family. We hope that you have enjoyed tonight's episode. If you still want to stick around for a little bit, we're going to be over on IG Live. You can follow me at Cool Waters. That's cool with a K, K-O-O-L. Waters, W-A-T-E-R-S 714. You follow me over there, and we're going to be on with Chef Brittany, getting just a little bit more information about how we can diversify our diets. We might not be talking about the healthy part because I want to ask her some questions about desserts, but if you got some questions, go ahead, follow me over there, Cool Waters 714 on IG Live. And Chef Brittany will be on in just a little bit. Make sure that you follow her at Siblings Catering. Follow her, connect with her so that you can see all that she's doing, get in touch with her for meal prep, and just support this beautiful Black sister that's out there doing some things.
Thank you so much.
If you have enjoyed tonight's episode, we invite you to join us right back here next week on Straight Talk No Chaser, where our guests next week are going to be Rhonda Jackson and Michelle Young. For a conversation, we'll be talking about getting your money right for the summer. Getting your money right for the summer. And look, and beyond. And we'll be getting into some conversations, also sharing about some things around trading Forex, cryptocurrency, and more. If you're not familiar with those, these are the hottest commodities with respect to diversifying your financial portfolio and ensuring that you not only have wealth from one day to the next, but generational wealth. So make sure that you join us next week. Until then, peace and blessings. We'll see you guys over on.
See you guys.
Thanks a lot, Chef.
I'll be over on IG.
Siblings Catering.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It was such a blessing and so appreciative. I enjoyed cooking with you guys today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for dinner.
All right. Thank you, Instagram.
Come talk about the road.
Yeah.
How many people was in one?